The thing about being able to walk into a temple or walk into a place, um, you didn't really exactly lose your property status. You still, because you still have to eat, somebody still had to take care of you. It's just that with my great wealth and my great money, I was basically taking people in at my temples and they didn't have to. Basically, if you had a good master or if you had a good slave owner, slaves would generally want to stay with you. Basically, workers, pretty much. They were workers. And I built these temples, which were also temples. There was also temples of of respite or of rest, which would basically they became drug or opium dens, basically. Um, and there was massive amounts of disease there and stuff like that. But basically, I would buy people or buy slaves, and they eventually ended up starving to death almost. And I eventually had to call in my scientists to go there and see if they could clean them up or keep them from starving to death. And they probably went off to one of the concentration camps where they sobered up and cleaned up their lives and everything else and stopped being disease ridden little whatever people. Anyway, like I say, you go to the Middle East or anywhere and you see all these opium people, and it's like, they've always been around for like the last 1,000 or 2,000 years, ever since I had opium, whatever. And it's like, yeah, I know, I knew, I've been dealing with it. It's like, I mean, some Russian guy wanted to shoot them all or someone, and I was like, no, just. And I paid people to basically just kind of push them off into a corner, and basically like here, this is your spot. There's your little plants. You can grow and do stuff, and you can have all the little whatever you want, and eventually you'll live and die. And that's pretty much what we did. We just put them in a place where they'd have plenty of water, and they would have their little plants, and even some food, and somebody would go and check on them to make sure that they were okay. And and I continued my medical research and all that other stuff. And Germany assisted with it, and then Russia. And then when I divided up, Germany actually, like I say, Germany didn't fail. They didn't die. They took over everything. They just, it's just that I got so big. It got such a huge, I own the world. And it's like, okay, I'm getting confused here. Which group did I have over here? Okay, I need that group to do this. And so I was just like, all right, because one person couldn't, because like there were people that were like, they would spend all day on roads. It's like, okay, we need to divide up into groups. This group does this little area, that group does that area, and then we can handle this. Because like people were just getting, anyway, thousands of years ago, you can talk to everyone else about it. And I was just like, I had better things to do than this. Anyway, and meanwhile, I was worrying about death and plague and destruction and the Yales and the Yellers and all that other stuff. And, sitting on top of 3,000 or millions of years of running planets and civilizations, I'm just like, I'm so exhausted. I'm tired. Just shoot me in the head. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me what they say or do. I had to deal with it anyway. I had to deal with Nixon and Carter, and with my money, it was my people. Anyway, like I say, I named America, so that meant that America became mine. So anyway, America is mine. My money. Mass-produced, best money in the world. Like I say, it's actually kind of funny. It's just that my money was durable. Other people would actually print money that would actually fall apart on purpose, where my money was guaranteed to be top quality financial money. Like, other people, there were probably like probably 30 or 40 other groups, and they actually made money that would fall apart. They made money that if you just put it in the washer, it would wash, it would fall apart. And then they were like, well, your money's gone. Oh, well. You know, I, on the other hand, I had a guarantee for my money. My money is guaranteed. If you rip this money, you can go into one of my institutions and you'll get a brand new crisp dollar bill and backed by gold. And it's not just backed by gold, it's backed by lead, it was backed by copper, it was backed by any of my goods in my country or countries, basically. So my dollar bills were universal. You could take this dollar bill and go to any of my mines and be like, I would like $1 of gold, or you could go to any of my mines and say I want $1 of lead, you know, and slap it down, and my people would give you $1 worth or $1 worth. In the old days, they used to do straight across trade, like oh well. Yeah, okay, you got silver. All right, yeah, it's dented, so it's silver. Of course, they also put lead with it, some stuff. Anyway, you got silver. So, all right, well, pure silver is worth what? Okay, and then, well, I'll give you 10 pennies of copper for your silver coin, because copper is used for wires and all kinds of electrical stuff. And in the old days, you could melt this down because this would be a solid copper penny. No, I don't think it's solid. Anyway, it's got zinc and stuff in here too. But anyway, because copper is worth more than whatever. Anyway, point though is that I set up this whole system of financialness, and it worked. It worked really well, and all that other stuff. So anyway, and Rodney and all these other people, they were just wishing, you know, it's like, well, you know, I'm the Lucifer Star, namer of America, inventor of flight and engines and my good, and like I said, I paid the Irish in gold. And like I say, I never paid with lead. I always paid, if you worked for me, you got, you know, if you worked for me, you got gold or silver or some sort of, like I always paid with pure metals, because I owned the mine. So if you worked for me, you know, like when I was building the Titanic, what most people don't know is I was giving people scrap iron. You know, if they cut off a little bit, people could take home, because the money was made from iron. So people could take home bits of iron from my Titanic when they were building it. So, you know, if you cut a piece or whatever, and some of them cheated a little bit, and they would cut a piece, you know, ended up taking half a piece of iron home, and it's like, oh, whatever. You know, I mean, it was the world's largest ship. So I mean, and most people said it's never going to float, but anyway, though, so some of the iron workers, but they were underpaid anyway. I mean, it ended up paying their whole wages, because they would go and melt down that steel, and they would make coins and you know, distribute that, and that's how they made money. That's how they paid people, you know. And by the little little steel blanks or whatever they made, they would go and sometimes they would use my gas from my torches or my cutters to like coins, like. Hey, I'm building the ship, so you know, if whatever my people needed, and I had to build a harbor too, so whatever my people really needed to get by. So, you know, I mean, it was such an involved. It took like 5 years or something, or 15 years to actually get the Titanic built. So, I mean, it was almost like building a space shuttle. In fact, building the space shuttle was actually easier than building the Titanic, because I had to build a whole everything. So.